Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. On this video I will be talking about a trailer breakdown for Last One Standing Season 2. Before I continue, link below are some surveys. If you want to fill them out, that's cool. If you don't, that's fine. Now to start out, I wanted to say that I really hope that this season goes a lot better than Season 1 because my gosh, Season 1 was crazy. I have already talked about my grievances with that one, and it looks like there's going to be less moving around and there's going to be more survival skills put to the test, and there's going to be elimination challenges and reward challenges and twists and turns and whatnot. And I say reward challenges because we see moments of individuals shooting off bows and arrows and making traps, but it seems they're working together and maybe different teams can work together to complete a specific challenge to get a reward as opposed to just find it kind of thing. I know there's a promotional image of individuals building a ladder, and so building a ladder is a cool survival skill, so we'll see. Now the battle begins July 14th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I think, in the United States. Now, the first thing I did was I looked at the trailer and I put down the name of each survivalist and I listed how many times I saw them in the trailer, plus how many clear shots of them I saw in the trailer. And when I say clear shots, I mean moments during this trailer that do not include still images where you go, that's this person, that's this person, that's this person. And here I have it listed where Patrick, Kai, Fernando, Dan, Darren, and Boulant had a lot of clear shots and a lot of moments in the trailer, while we have Kate, Lacey, Russell, and Gary with a few less moments. But this doesn't mean this will be the order in which everyone's going to be eliminated. This just means who might make it far and who might not. And I also found it interesting that Dan was in the background of a lot of people's shots, but we saw Kai at the beginning of the trailer and the middle of the trailer a lot. We saw Boulant and Fernando near the end. We saw some nice clear shots of Darren in there, a few of Danny and Lindsey, a few of Jeff, surprisingly enough, and a few of Gary. But I don't think that, and I don't know who this person is, so when I say clear shots, I mean shots like this where you can clearly tell this is Kai with her bow and arrow. And I thought it was interesting that Kai and Dan had moments next to fire, so maybe they're doing some kind of fire challenge near the end. And here are the only moments I saw Russell and Lacey. Kate, I didn't really see at all. I think we see her at a zoomed out moment where we see everybody running from a distance. The majority of them had pelts on, but Dan and Darren did not. So maybe the individuals with pelts won a reward challenge, and maybe Darren, Dan, and someone else were doing something else to get other items and didn't find that the pelts were a priority. We also see Danny out one time throwing a rope of some sort. We also see Gary carrying an impala, it seems, or some quadrupedal mammal. So I think that he's not going to be part of that double elimination. I don't know who this is behind Patrick in the cave, but that's definitely Patrick running. And here we have a moment of Darren shooting a bow and arrow, and I cropped Kai out because I didn't feel like censoring everything. And also here we have Kai and Darren with the trap, but it seems they're doing it together, so maybe it's part of a challenge, or maybe they're part of a group together and they're just trying out a trap to catch food later, and it might not do with a challenge, but you just never know with these kinds of things. And as I said earlier, we see Dan in the background of a lot of shots, but here we have Boulant. We see a lot of close-ups of Boulant, and maybe that's implying that he is the one who has to be taken out in an ambulance, because we see an ambulance coming in and we see Patrick and Fernando looking off into the distance. We also see a shot of Fernando running, and we also see him with a lot of beard growth, so maybe he makes it about 20 days to a month in or farther. And then yeah, we see Dan in the background, and we see Trish and Fernando eating something. It looks like before this, it looked like maybe coconuts or some kind of defecation of an animal. I don't know. And we see Patrick here. Patrick was peppered throughout the entire trailer, so I think that he's going to be a main character of this season. We also see where Patrick is running after Jeff, or they're running towards the same spot, but Jeff is a little bit further ahead, and we see Dan in the background. And here is one of the few moments of Lindsey in the trailer, because she only gets one really clear shot other than when the 14 survivalists are in a line. I also think there may be a host, because judging by their eye line, they may not be looking at a poster. It looks like they're listening to someone So it would be cool if there was a host, or maybe there's a special guest who's telling them the rules and whatnot. And here we have Dan again in the background while Fernando is throwing something to the ground. But my predictions are Russell, Lacey, Kate, Lindsey, and Trish might be early outs just because when we do see them, they're pretty clean and we don't see them that often. Darren, Gary, Boulent, and Danny might be in the middle because when we see Danny, she's a little dirty. We see Darren a lot. Boulent, we see kind of dirty. And Gary, we see him yelling and carrying an Impala. And then Dan, Patrick, Kai, Jeff, and Fernando, they might make it the farthest just because of the parts in the trailer. They're kind of dirty. Kai and Dan have fire next to them, so maybe there's some kind of fire challenge at the end. We see Fernando with a lot of beard growth. And Gary and Jeff, they were probably pushed a little bit to the back of the trailer, just maybe as a little misdirect because we know how chaotic those two can be. But it'll be interesting to see how everything turns out. I am cautiously optimistic. We shall see what happens, but I'm rooting for Dan, Kai, Patrick, and Fernando. We shall see how far they make it. And we shall, well, we'll see. I don't know. I don't want to make too many assumptions, but with that, that is the end of my analysis. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Please like, comment nice things, and subscribe. Click the next video if it's mine, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Okay, bye-bye now. Bye-bye.